Cada día sale el sol, nuevas esperanzas son. Dios habla a tu corazón, sanándote, alimentando tu vida con bálsamo de vida, con bálsamo de vida, bálsamo de vida.
Bálsamo de vida con Rosmery y Reid.
Joshua chapter 8 verse 1 says, Then the Lord said to Joshua, Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Take the whole army with you and go up and attack Ai. For I have delivered into your hands the king of Ai, his people, his city, and his land. Have you ever felt discouraged by a failure in your life, or a sin that brought along punishment and loss? It's a terrible feeling to feel, I know. It brings about so many other feelings such as pain, frustration, lack of self-esteem, fear, distrust, and anger with oneself, and many more. These are very strong feelings that undermine our being and often lead us to depression. We can see in the Bible, for example, characters like Jacob, Adam and Eve, Jonah, David, Peter, among others, that when they failed God, they felt so overwhelmed with the feeling of failure that they ran away from their family, hid and dressed in leaves, agreed to die in the sea, allowed their children to take control of a kingdom, and ran away from the presence of God, among other things. But in them we see a similar pattern. After failing God, they repented, learned from their mistake, and with the help of the Lord they moved forward and fulfilled God's purpose. Joshua learned from Achan's sin. They faced an unexpected defeat, but they solved the problem that the people had when God told them what was happening, and now they were ready to move on. But before that, we see that they become so discouraged that they were afraid. And Joshua tore his garment as a sign of indignation and shame and that terrible feeling of failure. It says in chapter 7, verses 7 and 9, Alas, sovereign God, why did you ever bring these people across the Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay on the other side of the Jordan. The Canaanites and the other people of the country will hear about this, and they will surround us and wipe out our name from the earth. What then will you do for our great name? After they removed the evil that was there, which we see in verses 16 to 26, God came to them again to encourage them and give them instructions on how to defeat Ai and continue with their conquest. The first thing God tells them is, Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Take the whole army with you and go up and attack Ai. For I have delivered into your hands the king of Ai, his people, his city, and his land. In other words, God tells him, Calm down, what happened is over. You have already corrected it, I have forgiven you. Let's move on with a clean slate. In this passage from Joshua, we not only learn that God comes to encourage his servant, but also to give him specific instructions on how to act so that they can now obtain victory. God came not only to comfort them, but to restore confidence in themselves and their walk with him, showing his grace and goodwill. We have a God who provides new opportunities, a God who is willing to forgive and give us a second chance. If you feel afflicted by some failure or sin, allow God to restore your confidence as you repent and worship him. Give him the opportunity to come into your heart and minister to you, so that you can find encouragement and continue your walk with him. It is time for a clean slate. This is your sister Vanessa Ortiz, and may God bless you.
Gracias por estar ahí, escuchando Bálsamo de Vida. Si estas palabras han edificado tu vida, escríbenos a balsamodevidareflexiones@gmail.com y síguenos en nuestras redes sociales. Reflexiones Bálsamo de Vida. Que su gracia te cubra en este día.